what's the benefit of chanting?
So yes, there is a lot of benefits we can associate with the chanting. It doesn't even matter if it's one, you can just chant Ong, or if it's a more complex mantra, that it's really bringing the mind into stillness, and ideally into a very silent, vast space. It can be even up to bringing us into a state of shunya through the repetition of the mantra, which then doesn't allow the brain to think all the thoughts and to be busy. And it really doesn't allow the monkey to go into too many branches, but the mind has to stay focused. And also the tongue and the upper palate, we are stimulating, by moving our tongue, we're stimulating certain meridian points, which also has a profound healing effect on the nervous system. Welcome today. And please, if you wish to find a comfortable seated position, it can be cross-legged or just sitting in the chair. And we will take a few moments to center ourselves. Feeling the feet or the sitting bones touching the earth below. And feeling the spine straight and long. And just feeling the body, connecting to the body, and then connecting to the breath. And as we exhale, we feel connected to the earth. And as we inhale, we grow tall, even just a few millimeters every time we inhale, gently reaching up, connecting to the heavens above. Just feeling very peaceful, centered, and feeling this very moment as it is. And then gently bringing the palms together in front of the heart. Relaxing the shoulders, keeping the chest, the heart open. Your neck long, aligned with the spine. And your face relaxed, eyes gently closed. And then with the closed eyes, you look up to the third eye point, just between the eyebrows. And we will take a moment to tune in, connecting to the wisdom within us, to the teacher within, and to all the teachers and the teachings that came before us, with a beautiful mantra, Ong Namo Gurudev Namo. And we will chant it 3 times. So please inhale deeply and exhale completely. And now inhale to begin. Om. Namo. Om. Namo. Om. Om. And inhale, gently hold the breath, and then exhale and relax the arms down. You can still stay for a moment with the eyes closed if you wish, and just feel yourself.
Thank you so much, Sanda.
Mhm.
Welcome.
Thank
Hello.
you.
I want to welcome everybody who's listening in again. I don't know how many podcasts we already have, but if you're still listening and reaching through all these episodes, I want to thank you for making the time to um, listening to another beautiful story that I think we're going to uncover. I met Sanda just this summer at a retreat with Sadhana Singh, who was already in this podcast. She's one of his teachers in training or interns. But what struck me was that she had an incredible communicational skill. And communication is such a important part, quality to have as a teacher, but also to make things happen in life. I saw that she even left her hometown Belgrade and bought a piece of land and built a house just next to the estate of Sadhana Singh. And then I got intrigued. I was like, wow, what a move. I want to hear this story. So today we have Sandeep, that I know on our podcast. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm happy to be here.
Hmm. We just heard you introducing and bringing us into this session, and wow, you have a really clear voice. Did you have that? Did you have that all your life already?
Well, I think I did have a certain quality to my voice that I was born with, but I have seen a lot of changes in my voice since I've started actively practicing Kundalini yoga, which was some 10 years ago. And since, as you know, we have a lot of chanting in this practice, a lot of mantras. And they were actually one of the reasons I fell in love with Kundalini yoga. So with this regular chanting, whether it's just, whilst driving or so, not only in class, but in everyday life, I think that my voice became more clear and yeah, with maybe a also more open and yeah, more me. Yeah.
Was that something you were expecting from Kundalini Yoga, or why did you try it out at first?
Well, no, I never, thought of like that I would really work so much with my voice through yoga, but I did fall in love with the Kundalini yoga mantras just really on my first yoga class. And this is still something that I love so much. It's to chant.
Hmm.
And it just sort of happened spontaneously. So it's not that I was focused on this and that I was maybe doing some kriyas for opening the throat chakra or doing some work specifically for that. But yes, there was a small a seminar that I did a weekend course, which has nothing to do with Kundalini Yoga, but it was to open the voice. It was to heal the voice. And I did that in Italy. So that was something I did specifically for the voice. But I think that these changes did happen even prior to this. And then this was just like a little upgrade, or like a little gift I wanted to give to myself to dwell deeper, to go deeper into the voice.
Oh, and you said you just fell in love with Kundalini Yoga mantras. Did you sing mantras before that?
Yes, I did. I was familiar with mantras through Hatha Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, and I've been into yoga for many years, just practicing, and I did explore many different types. I mean, they're called now types now of yoga. And then when I encountered Kundalini Yoga, it had exactly this spiritual part that was very close to my heart, to my soul, that I mostly felt through the beautiful music and through the beautiful Shabads and mantras that are used in Kundalini Yoga. They were very new to me. So all of a sudden, it was not Om, it was Ong, and there was a lot of really new things to encounter, new words, pronunciation and everything. But yeah, the love for mantras is, we go way back.
Oh, wow. So let's feel this love a bit more. Tell us about the mantra. Which one, like, you love to sing in the car while you're traveling? What's the mantra?
So in the car, I'm normally starting the drive with Adgurename, Jugadgurename, Satgurename, Sirigurudevaname, which is one of the mantras I connected to a lot, especially through one of the meditations for also projecting from the heart, where there is like a mudra and a hand movement. And this one just brings a lot of light and like a protective shield to us. So that's like a very basic Kundalini mantra that I love. And then, there's just so many. I love the Pavana for the energy and for more of like the movement. And then most recently, I've also loved the more slow ones, maybe like Apsahais Hoa or Ardas Bai, and yeah.
So, does that work? How does that work? The mantras. You're a teacher now, and before you did the Hatha, the Ashtanga, which was much more physical yoga, right? And now all of a sudden you encounter this practice of chanting. On itself, is that healing enough? We're talking to all the people that maybe know Hatha, other more physical, but what's the benefit of chanting?
So yes, there is a lot of benefits we can associate with the chanting. It doesn't even matter if it's one, you can just chant Ong, or if it's a more complex mantra, that it's really bringing the mind into stillness, and ideally into a very silent, vast space. It can be even up to bringing us into a state of shunya through the repetition of the mantra, which then doesn't allow the brain to think all the thoughts and to be busy. And it really doesn't allow the monkey to go into too many branches, but the mind has to stay focused. And also the tongue and the upper palate, we are stimulating, by moving our tongue, we are stimulating certain meridian points, which also has a profound healing effect on the nervous system, on the entire being. So I always invite my students that are a little skeptical to chant. I always invite them to do it, even if they are not perfect in the pronunciation. Just by tuning into this vibration, we are really being transformed slowly, and being brought to this space of peace, of also deeper connection to the self, to the soul.
Yeah, I can really relate to what you're saying. My voice also changed so much throughout the years, and this deeper connection is about, if I go back into myself, it was about accepting my voice, that it could go out, allowing it to come out, because you would realize through repetition, you would realize, oh, I'm not allowing it to come out. And then at a
Yes.
certain moment, right, when you do the Kundalini yoga and after that you challenge, you feel there's an energy that wants to come out, isn't it?
Yes. Oh, yes, yes. I also used to chant very loudly, and I guess that was also this energy that needed to come out. And I still have a rather loud voice, but I think I've also become more subtle and more actually able to listen, which is, another thing. So one thing is to express, and then another thing is to really listen to your voice and listen to the other sounds and voices around you. So this is really closely related. And yes, it can be very freeing to allow yourself to express yourself and to really let that voice. So now, whether it's loud sometimes or more quiet, but to really befriend it and love it. And it is very healing, and it goes very deep when you start working on this quality, on the voice. Yeah.
Because before I did the mantra yoga, I would have, like, every winter I would have throat ache. I would
Uh-huh.
have, because I was taught not to say everything, you had to be polite, etc. But ever since I did Kundalini yoga, my voice is not blocked, and I don't have pain in my throat anymore in the winter. It's that whole area is not unstable anymore. It's much stronger. So I can really recommend, if you're not even if you're physically not able to do many practices, then you can do mantra practice, right? That already helps.
Yes, yes. I mean, everyone can do the mantra practice and the pranayam, the breathing practices. And this is something that absolutely everyone can do, even if they are not able to sit in a meditative posture, for example, on the floor, or they can just sit in the chair, make themselves comfortable, or even move around and chant. I mean, once you become familiar with these mantras, you could be cooking, and I guarantee that all the cookies or whatever you're making will turn out better. They will be
Yeah.
tasty.
I know you're right. Personal experience. I know you're right. Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. It really brings that beautiful energy. And also, we're really connecting to the heart when we chant.
Yeah.
We're connecting to the heart more. So we are going out of the mind and hopefully sinking into the body, into the heart.
Yeah.
And then that's where we
You add
are.
love to the food. That's how we add love to the food.
That's how we had love. Yes, that's right. Yes.
Yeah. I truly believe that and know that. Well, thank you for the bring us into some of the teachings. Let's talk about you, Sandra. Where were
Mhm.
you born? Tell us.
So
Where
I
are
was
you
born
from?
in Belgrade. Yes, I'm from Belgrade, from Serbia. But I traveled a lot all of my life. I always say that I must have been born under a traveling star. So I spent most of my university years and some years after in the United States. And then I did come back to Serbia. But yeah, as of this year, I have moved to Magliano Sabina in Italy. Small town in the beautiful countryside, beautiful nature of Lazio, just north of Rome.
Next to Sadhana Singh.
Yes, next to my teacher, my mentor, Sadhana Singh, that I had met him years ago and have really been touched by his teachings and the way he actually transmits the teachings of Kundalini Yoga. And so I've been connected through all these years with the Sangat, with the Italian Sangat, and going to Italy many times per year. And finally, it happened so that this house was for sale. This property with a beautiful olive oil orchard was for sale, and it was just next door to Sadhana Singh. So now we are really building a community there, and having retreats, having courses. Yes, it's a beautiful place.
Yes, you're right. I was there first time this year, but oh my gosh, we stayed a bit further, but just
Yeah.
walking every day to across your place and Sadhana Singh's place, and you can feel the passion energy everywhere. I also traveled a lot, different teachings, but at when I was there in Italy, in your area, and probably many other places, but you can feel the passion, and it's yeah, it was very pleasant. So if you ever look for a place to do a retreat or a teaching, try it out. You really have to go. Okay, so you were in Belgrade. What made you look for yoga?
Well, I actually encountered yoga in America just after university studies, and I was living in California at the time. And I was a little bit confused about life. Like, I finished my journalism studies, and then I was thinking, oh, shall I study more, or do I want to work now? And so there was a yoga studio down the street, and it just seemed so inviting. It had like a little garden behind and a beautiful shala with windows overlooking this garden. Just so much light and beautiful space. And so I started going to yoga there. And at that time, I didn't have a lot of money to spare. And my teacher, she offered that if I would run some errands for her and help her out by cleaning the studio and doing things to organize and help her out with with the studio, that then I can just come a few times per week, as much as I wanted. And so I was regular there. And this was my first contact with yoga. And wow, I just loved it. I mean, at this point, it was more on the physical level, just doing all the different exercises. I remember I was in love with the tree pose, and I just wanted to do that one like a lot. Probably needing more balance, in life, or just more, sort of centering. And so it was wonderful. I really have very fond memories of that place and of my teacher there. And then after that, a few years after, I moved back to Serbia, and then I started practicing here. And that was with a few different teachers, with Hatha Yoga, and then with Ashtanga Yoga. And actually, with Ashtanga Yoga, this was the first trip to India, to Mysore. Wow, that was like, I'm trying to remember the year now when I first visited, but yes, that was like 11 years ago. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what did India do with you?
Oh, wow. Yes, India is still a very special country for me, a very special place that I love to go back there, because it's always a little bit of a challenge, even though I have been many times in these 10 years. I always feel that I have to let go of some part of me that just, like wants to be comfortable, wants to complain, or loves, everything to be like I'm used to, like, maybe like organize and clean and program and like controlling things a little bit, because in India, you just have to let all of that go. And you have to just open your heart and really live in the moment. And then there is all that movement there. I mean, it's not a quiet place necessarily. But beyond all of that, there is such a sense of devotion that I have really not experienced in many other places. It's
I'm
really like,
laughing. because I have a team of colleagues in India, and the amount of holidays they need to celebrate their festivities is incredible. It's a lot of devotion, and everybody, just appears. They come, they go to the celebrations. You're right.
Yes, yes, they're really masters of ceremonies, of rituals. And it's just, for me, it's a different world where you just always come back a little bit more, let's say, relaxed, and really more, in a way, also more connected to myself, because probably, I have more time there to meditate and to really just enjoy in this vibration that I do normally in the Western lives in the cities and so on. Even though I live in nature now, so it has been different in the last years, and I have been going maybe a little bit less to India, but it's still one of my favorite destinations for sure.
And while you were based in Belgrade, how did life unfold before you went into, becoming a teacher? How was life before that?
So I was working with my family company in beauty, in actually cosmetics industry, related mainly to dermatology and aesthetic medicine. And I helped a lot with public relations, communications, with marketing. That was my role in the company, together with my mom, who was the owner and founder, and then my brother, also in the company. So it was really more of a so-called business life, but yoga was always there. So it was always something that I felt was really balancing me out. And when I needed to rest, to relax, I would go to a yoga class. And I was actually all the time going to some yoga classes or seminars or retreats. And, even my family was like, oh, Sandra, really? Another one? And you want to go to India again? And everything. But, at that time, I was practicing yoga in a different way, meaning that I was pushing a lot and I was pushing my body a lot. And in Ashtanga yoga, as you might know, when the body is warm, they also adjust you in positions a little bit. And so, to make the long story short, I had an injury. First one leg, the back of the leg, and then the knee. And so finally I had to stop with the Ashtanga practice for some time. I gave myself a break. I thought, what am I doing? Yoga is supposed to unite me. I mean, to heal me in a way, not to make these injuries and hurt myself. I was probably in a wrong place in my head, thinking, oh, wow, I can do these postures. I'm so strong. So I had to take a break, and I thought, well, finally, the time has come. I will go to a Kundalini yoga class, because that is just meditation and chanting, and I really didn't know much about the practice, about Kundalini yoga. And then we were in some, posture with the arms up, and I couldn't do it for too long. And it was a challenge, but I loved it. I really connected with this flow of the kriyas. And so I was going to classes. And then very soon, my teacher in Serbia told me about a teacher training in Rishikesh in India, held by Gurmukh Kaur Khalsa and the Golden Bridge Yoga. And she said, well, you have a month to prepare. I think, giving you a month's notice. I'm going, come along. And so, a month later, there I was in Rishikesh doing an intensive teacher training, level 1, with Gurmukh. And so that was the start. And immediately after, I started teaching. They needed help here in Belgrade, and they just said, go, you're ready.
And why would you teach?
Sorry?
Why would you teach?
Why?
Yeah, why would you teach? You had a busy life. You had probably a lot to do in your company, your family company. What made you teach?
That's a very good question. I was a little hesitant to teach. I was like, oh, I'm not ready. Because part of my personality, like a lot of us, is that we think we need some kind of a really good preparation, the right moment to come, and we want this some kind of a perfection. So I was a little hesitant, like, oh, just out of the training, but I thought, okay, they really need me. They're sort of pushing me towards it. It must be the sign from the universe. Let me try. And so there I was, preparing the class and really studious about it and making everything, as good as I could at this point. I was just starting, but very soon I realized that it is helping me grow and really stay with the teachings a lot more, because I had a responsibility now, not just for my own practice, but also for others. And so I had to have a strong practice so I can share what I had learned with others. And then this energy in class, this community that we built, whether it's 5 people or let's say 50 people, it is so beautiful and so precious that's what really keeps me teaching up to this day. And it's been almost 10 years that I've been a teacher. And I've seen that it is allowing me to grow. It's just stimulating me to grow. And then, as I said, I just love sharing. As one of my teachers had said, only what we share and what we give is truly ours. And this I find really beautiful to share. Yeah, so we're here for that, and that's what teaching allows me to do. Yeah.
And why not go back to teaching Hatha or Kundalini or Ashtanga?
Well, I did try to do a parallel practice, and sometimes, of course, I do sun salutes and everything, but somehow Kundalini for me has been the most whole and like encompassing, embracing all of the practices that I love, meaning there is the breathing, there is the posture, there is the mantra, the meditation, and it is put in such a way that it's dynamic and diverse. So each class is different. And whereas in some other parts, like for example, in Ashtanga, you are always doing the series. So you're always doing the same thing. And here it's just more diverse, and also you are working on different parts, different areas, very specifically though, but addressing, like, let's say, opening of the heart, or detoxing the body, or opening the intuition, strengthening the electromagnetic field. So for me, I have really seen also the effects of the practice to be a lot if I should, faster and stronger, deeper for me than with, for example, Hatha or Ashtanga. So it's it's really that love at first sight, that then once I saw how the technology is working, how these kriyas and meditations are working, I just thought, no, this is it. I will teach this, and I will stay with it. Yeah.
So life has had a beautiful new balance for you in Belgrade.
Yes, and I'm so fortunate to have a loving, supportive family that they also practice yoga. Even my father a bit, but my mom for sure. She practices alone, and she started at the age of, let's say, 60. That, a lot of people would say, oh, when you're like getting a little bit older, or that middle age or older, like, oh, maybe, I don't know, people are not as open to embrace like something completely new, because of course in Serbia, yoga is not a widely practiced discipline. That is changing, but we're more into like sports and things like that, not necessarily Indian spiritual practice like yoga. So yeah, and also my group of friends, they're practicing yoga a lot, they're meditating. So I mean, the whole environment has been quite supportive of this decision that I made. And yeah, and I still come to Serbia to teach. And I do have a yoga studio in Serbia. And yeah, all the different yoga styles are there as well. So it's just a place to gather and to come together.
So you run a studio, or you ran a studio in Belgrade?
Yes. So from teaching yoga, Kundalini yoga, I was renting different spaces in town, and this became a bit tiring. And I mean, it was fine, but I had to run here and there and move around always, changing the location, let's say, depending on what was available and so on. And when I started, there were not as many yoga spaces and yoga studios. This has changed. And then I was dreaming that I will have my own yoga center or yoga studio. And it happened. I bought an old apartment. I must have something for buying old things and making them, like renovating them. And from this old attic, I made a beautiful yoga space. So yes, this is in Belgrade, and it's running. Yeah.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll
Yeah.
come and do yoga in Belgrade someday.
Yes, welcome.
And now you made the switch to Italy, leaving your family, or your foundation of the family foundation, leaving your studio. What happened? Why?
Yes, my friends here and even my family has inquired, like, what happened? You have the studio in Belgrade now, and now you want to go to Italy. But what happened was that the studio and my apartment as well is in the center of Belgrade. And Belgrade is not such a big city, but it is a city. And there is traffic, there is pollution, there is all of that. And there is just that city vibration, that buzz of the city, which is good. I'm very... I love cities, but somehow I again started dreaming of having a place in the nature, a small cottage house in the nature. And I was just thinking about it and talking to people about it. And I just looked around, even in countries close by to Serbia. And then a friend of mine in Italy, just out of nowhere, really, she said, well, I was looking for some spaces because she was thinking of transferring from Milano to Magliano Sabina, so from a big city to a small town. And she found a property that it just turned so that she was looking for herself. And then when it came to the actual buying of the place, she couldn't do it. And she said, well, there is this, maybe you could be interested, take a look. And a lot of people around in the village and everyone was saying, oh, this house is abandoned. It's been there for more than 10 years, totally abandoned. And it really didn't look so beautiful, this house. But there is a balcony in one of the rooms. When you stand on this balcony and you watch the sunset over the hills and over these olives, and it was so beautiful that I always remember. So this was 2 years ago. I was standing there and I just felt, yeah, this could be my home. Let me go for it. And I had a little bit of savings and I could use for this. And I knew it will be a lot of work, but it was really a spontaneous decision. But I mean, I'm so happy that I went for it. I sort of followed my instinct, my heart, and there we are.
I don't detect a lot of fear in you. You kind of feel something and you go and do it. Is that correct?
Yes. I cannot say that I did not make mistakes. Of course, that I did just by following, but mostly on these big decisions. There were difficult moments for sure. Like in life, it's always a wave. It's always a little up and down. But overall, things have, let's say, manifested, and I've completed these big important projects like the studio in Belgrade, and then this house that is now a healing center. And I will share with you that it is it just got a new name. Its name, and it is called Saran Simran. So
what does it mean?
Simran Healing Center. And my spiritual name is Sarandip, which is a sanctuary of light. Deep is a torch or a light. And then Saran, it can be referred to as a sanctuary, as a place where you really go to recover, to rest, to recuperate, to heal. So this is Saran. And then Simran, it is a word very often used in our mantras, in Kundalini Yoga. It is a beautiful word meaning remembrance of God's name. So constantly remembering the name of God. So these two words put together, yes, this is the concept of the name of the place.
Well, if you're not watching YouTube, you should see her glow right now. You are like glowing when you're telling this. Quite an achievement. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Wow. And what
Yes.
is your vision for that healing retreat that you've built?
Yeah, so as I spoke before about sharing, for me, this is so important to give and to really open, not just our heart, but what we have around us. And so to share, to open the door, let's say. And when I built the studio for teachers, for students, for the community. And also this house, I was thinking, well, I don't need the house with 3-4 bedrooms, or I can just have my little space and then have the other rooms so people would come. And then I was thinking, well, if we have these courses with Sadhana Singh, that it really makes sense that I could be the host. People can sleep there and then go down to the shala of Sadhana Singh and practice there. But also to make some maybe smaller, more intimate retreats, also pairing with other teachers, or also doing sound healing. That's another passion that I have, is the gong and Tibetan bowls, using different instruments to create beautiful soundscape for people to relax. And so that's another use of, but another way in which we can have retreats and organize events with sound. Also in Italy. Healing center, I call it that way. It's not that I am looking to heal anyone or not anything like that. It is more for people to really connect with themselves, with their hearts, with their souls, to really be more their true self as much as possible. And in this way, when we're connected, when we're allowing the prana to flow, when we understand how our energy flows in the body, and when we can go into that space of silence, of deep inner silence, then we can heal. Then it happens naturally. So that's the idea.
That's so wonderful. But being there next to Sadhana Singh, when did you meet him?
Yeah, so I met him in Slovenia during his annual workshop, which is always in January, and it is Shunya. And a friend of mine from Slovenia was saying, yeah, you have to come, it's a weekend, and so on. And it was Christmas at this time, Orthodox Christmas here in Serbia. And again, my family is like, oh, it's Christmas, and you're going to pray, you're going on a yoga seminar. But I had this call, I just had to go. And it was a beautiful seminar, 2 day long workshop, where we really explored this deep inner silence. And this was in 2017 or 16. Now I don't, but I think 2017. So yeah, it's been some years. And from then, I have really been going to many classes, courses, and following Sadhana Singh really. And
And
until
why him? Why him?
well, for me, this was like the turning point in my Kundalini yoga practice, meeting him, because I had suddenly had an access to the meditative space like never before. And I was not looking for another teacher. I had a teacher. I was with Gurmukh for many years, for a couple of years. But then it became difficult to follow her as she's teaching abroad, overseas. And then going to Slovenia or going to Italy for me was obviously also much easier. But this was not the main reason. I mean, when you find your teacher, then you will go anywhere just to stay next to the teacher and to really stay in the presence. It's not anything that a teacher necessarily says or does. I mean, this helps as well, and it can be an inspiration. But for me, it was more the presence and this space that opened up with Sadhana Singh that really brought me into meditating more. And I still just love going to these classes, to his classes. They are just very precious for me. Yeah.
And you even wanted to have a place next to him. That must be something really special. What's happening there at his shala? What is he doing there that makes it so special that you want to be next to him and even host some of his guests?
Yes, magic happens every time that we're together. Teachers with so much experience and with so much love for this practice that are really, an example, and they're really, Sadhana Singh is really living what he talks. And that's just, if you're into yoga, or if you're sensitive enough, you could really pick up on that vibration and on that presence that then really gives space to everyone to be who they really are, to be seen, to be heard. And we are really in this, in this space together, growing, exploring, learning. So, just to stay together to chant, and Sebomai, which is the house of Sadhana Singh, is really a healing space. That room is just infused with so much wisdom, so much divine energy and light after all the years of practicing, meditating, and praying there together, that it really is something that has to be felt. It's even not so easy to be put in words, but I hope I managed. Yeah.
Well, I can agree with that. I don't know, something is calling me to experience it also more. I had the same experience like you. I met him in Slovenia beginning of this year only. And
Yeah.
it was just before Christmas that I had the calling from a Slovenian friend to come to Shunya.
That's it.
And now we're here talking about him. So, for those that don't understand, can you tell me what can you do more after becoming a Kundalini yoga teacher? Because isn't that the goal? That's it. You say, or what is there more to do after becoming a teacher? And then what did you do so much at Sadhana Singh's place?
Yeah. So when you finish these teacher trainings, you don't necessarily have to teach, but I do recommend to everyone to start to teach. They don't have to have a class, but you could share with your friends, with your family, and this is already teaching. Teaching doesn't necessarily mean having a big audience, but these courses are so lovely because they are applicable. I mean, the technology, the Kundalini yoga technology, is very much applicable in everyday life. So what we have been trying to do also in Antarvidya school with Sadhana Singh is to practically apply this in everyday life and to really bring Kundalini yoga closer to people that are maybe not yogis, that are maybe don't have time, that are just family oriented more or business oriented people, so that really this yoga is available for everyone. And with teaching, as I said, you are growing, you are really always expanding more, and this is a process of teaching or being a student is basically, I mean, the same, because also when you teach, you still have to learn from someone. So this is ongoing, and it goes on for the whole of our lives. And then there are specialty courses in Kundalini Yoga that maybe some of our listeners, I'm sure, are familiar with this, that there are so-called level 2 courses. For example, vitality and stress, conscious communications, authentic relationships. So these are specialized courses on these topics that one can take and then go deeper into this, and of course then use this knowledge to teach. And there is also a very beautiful course that we are just now starting a next round of education in self-realization and self-expression. This is also very beautiful course for teachers, and not only for teachers, because this is a course that anyone can take and just use it to strengthen this connection with the true self and discover the potentials and use them to really manifest a more holy, more fulfilling life. I mean, as the name says, self-expression, self-realization. So this is something that we're into now, as the course will start next week.
And what actually did that bring to you? These specialty courses like self-expression, self-realization.
Yes. So this course in the past was called Leadership and Success. And when I first enrolled, I was thinking, do I really want to do this? I mean, I was in business, and now I'm in yoga, and why am I now this leadership? I didn't understand. And then I remember the first class was on this topic, that we really need to lead ourselves. So we have to get in touch with this part of ourselves that is sort of deeper part of ourselves, which is what the soul, the call of our soul, what we really want to do, what we really want to share, what is our authentic voice, and then lead ourselves in life using this this intention, this mission that we have. And then I understood, wow, this is really something that I need. And I've become a lot more sure of myself, better at making decisions, more conscious of what's going on when I'm making decisions, or when I'm just leading, my life, whether I'm so much in the head, or whether I'm trusting that intuition or trusting that voice, and just being more present, more conscious. This has been a huge change. And there's been so much. There's been really so much, because we've been doing this course in a couple of years, and now I'm doing it for the second time. So it will be interesting to see, as I have grown in the process, how will I now process this information for the second time, and also to share with a new group, and also co-teach. So
So you made it another step up. You now into specialty courses. You're not just a teacher. You're now. What makes you go back into a course? What is so? It's like you have your healing center. You have Belgrade. Why another step into more teaching?
Yeah. Yeah. Why another course? Why another yeah, teaching? Yes. Well, I just feel that this is what I need to do. And honestly, I'm not sure what else would I do or could I do. Yeah, there is many, many things. But this feeling that I have after I had shared a class with a group of people, this for me has no price. And I really feel uplifted by this. I feel like, the more we give, the more blessings we get in our life. I mean, sometimes it's not visible, but for me, it can be felt. I just get so like like a light, like a lot of light has come into me, after, for example, also leading the sadhana in the morning. We have a sadhana group, not super early, but some mornings still when you have to wake up around 5, I'm not super excited. But every time after the class, the sadhana ends around 7, I feel so blessed that then, if this is the one thing that I have done in the day, if it's the only one, then it's already good enough. I mean, that I feel so uplifted, so good after. And yes, I think it's a little bit of a passion now as well to teach. Yeah, yeah. To share again, to share.
Wow. It's so beautiful to see how you're without fear are tuning into this inner calling to teach more and more. Um, and I also know you play the gong, yes, a lot.
Yes, yes, a lot. A gong is also something that Kundalini Yoga has brought into my life. I was doing Kirtan Kriya for some days. And during the Kirtan Kriya, I had this image that I was sitting in front of the gong and playing the gong. And normally I don't have so many visual images when I'm meditating. I mean, maybe I will feel some light or something, but not really the picture. And it was there. And so this was a clear sign for me. And I immediately, like in a few weeks, I found the gong training course. I bought my first gong that I still have. And I've been playing the gong ever since. I mean, it's been, I think, like maybe 5, 6 years, maybe more. So rather soon, I mean, after getting into Kundalini Yoga, gong has stepped in. And this is also so beautiful to have it in addition to the meditations and to the kriyas, because then there is really a deep relaxation. And also these sounds are just very soothing and very, I mean, the way I play, I don't really bang, like I do more like a very soft sound, gong soundscape. So I see it like as like some kind of like a carpet of sound that can just really carry you. And then, the mind, goes, you really let go of the mind. And then it's just this sound and these sensations. So it's so beautiful. And I mean, the feedback I've been getting from people is amazing. It's very much needed in this world that we live in the times that we live in.
It's so beautiful for me to see how you, every time when you think you made the biggest step you could make into teaching, you find another thing. You find another thing. I just got a picture of that. You really will. You're living your destiny into becoming a great teacher, and that's so. I feel very lucky that I have you now already in this podcast. I can then later say she was with me on my podcast.
Oh,
No, I'm kidding. Let's round off. Let's round off. But before that, I want to give you the space to talk to all of those that found their way to this podcast, that are intrigued about Kundalini Yoga. Maybe, and from this podcast, I really feel from you that it's not a teaching, it's a way of life.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to share about how you live with Kundalini Yoga?
Yeah, it really is a way of life, and it is how to incorporate this practice into the life so that we are really, remembering this connection with our true selves, remembering that silence, remembering that we are light in everyday life. So it's not just on the mat, it's really bringing it into our work, into our relationships, into our family life, into all of the aspects of the life. And yes, I do encourage everyone to try Kundalini Yoga. It doesn't mean that you will be doing 2 hours a day and something very complicated. It can be very simple, but very, very effective. And it is really a technology that has been around for so many years that it is, let's say, proven that it works. I mean, I don't want this to sound like some kind of an advertisement, which certainly it's not. I really am talking from my heart and from my experience. That it's also stopping for a moment to putting aside, like, everything, and everything you normally you worry about. And it is to try to see things from a different perspective. It's really to open your horizons, to open your views, and to open your heart. I mean, it is an expansion. That's how I see really Kundalini Yoga. So I think all of us, we need that. And yeah, so welcome. I'm also teaching online. And yes, you can find me in Italy most of the time nowadays. And yes, thank you again for listening, and for sharing these moments together, and to Sandesh, who is taking care of this podcast so beautifully. Yeah.
Thank you. We will definitely put all your details under the podcast. So if you're listening in, we have the information in the podcast description. If there's more episodes, if you want to support Sandar, then go and have an online lesson from her, have an experience. If you want to support this podcast, try our membership online or come to our online Sangha days. We hold it 4 times a year, and I'm sure that Sanda will appear some of these days also. So thank you so much for listening, and we hope that we've been able to touch you, and we wish you a lot of expansion in life, and I hope that this story of expansion from Sarandeep has touched you. Thank you. Take care, and I see you in the next podcast.
Thank you so much. Oh.